My name is Ty Hollett. I grew up in Chicago, but have lived in Indiana, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, and most recently Nashville, Tennessee. My current research interests largely revolve around learning in informal settings. So the work that I've done most recently um, is housed out of the Nashville Public Library. So I helped design what's called the studio there. So it's a digital media learning lab that includes music production, video production, gaming space, as well as a maker space. So I helped design that space, but really, as it was getting built, started up some game-based programming. And so I had uh, students coming in after school. They were using the video game Minecraft to basically build a digital replica of their home city, Nashville. So yeah, look at a lot of digital media learning, but especially those in informal learning settings like museums or libraries. Yeah, to be a new faculty member, I mean, it's really exciting in a lot of ways. It's the culmination of a lot of work with the recognition that there's a lot of more really cool work to come. But it's great to be in a place where I have a lot of colleagues who have similar interests, but also differences, and so I get to still learn from them. But I really love, I mean, right now, taking the time to get to know students really well, to focus on my teaching and kind of finding people who are like-minded. I try to have meetings with people every Thursday just around campus, ranging from people in arts education to science educators to engineers. But it's also fun to imagine new projects. And so a lot of it is dictated by what's local. And so a lot of those local informal learning settings or people who are using digital media in unique ways. So it's fun to be able to see kind of like a new trajectory for my own research developing too. Right now, I teach a course. It's technically called Current Topics and Emerging Technologies, but I really just call it Digital Media and Learning. And so, basically, it gives a broad, take on the kind of developing or emerging field of digital media and learning. We work with some theories looking at ecological learning, about how learning cuts across settings, how digital media impacts that. But then we've been diving a bit more specifically. So we focused strictly on gaming for a few weeks. I had a game jam last week where we were just playing and then we're kind of reflecting on that gameplay. We'll be talking about making and maker spaces this coming week, and then we'll talk about civic media after that. So really, how does digital media impact civic engagement as well? Yeah, so the dissertation was all based around this uh, program that I created at the Nashville Public Library, and it was called Metro Building Blocks. But it basically had about 15 or so participants who were with me a couple times each week at the library, and they were building Nashville within the video game Minecraft. And so it was a way to introduce them to issues of civic engagement through digital media, to think about how games can foster civic engagement, but also really to get them to think like urban planners a little bit. So, what does it mean to reimagine a community? What does it mean to think about your city in a different way? What can you potentially build in a game that actually could possibly have real world impact if you were to present that to urban planners or even residents too? Um, but with that, I use a lot of, I think really deeply about place and what it means to be in a place. And so not only what that means like in a city, but also how do you create really uh, powerful learning opportunities for kids in a place like a library too? And what does that look like? Even what does it feel like? And so it's not about using a game strictly to teach one thing, but to develop a community culture and to ideally allow students to take that further, even into school or into their interests at home, as it kind of cuts across different settings. So it's weird. I've lived in State College 9 years ago. I got my master's degree in English here and then left to go teach high school for a few years. So it's fun to come back, and it's fun coming back 9 years later. But what I've always loved about State College is really just that. I mean, one, the outdoor opportunities. So I go hiking when I can, I get outside when I can. But despite being a small place, there's a lot of stuff packed into it. So there are lots of restaurants. There are lots of bars. There are all kinds of opportunities related to the campus too. And so when I'm not going out to dinner or meeting up, with friends, I mean, I've been going to men's soccer games. I look forward to going to some of the women's volleyball games, uh, ice hockey games too. And so there's kind of always something that you can find. Something's always going on. To me, Penn State offers a real uh, unique experience in the sense that you get world-class researchers who are obviously experts in their fields, but I also think you get a real culture that comes with being a part of Penn State. I felt that when I was here 9 years ago, and that was largely why I applied for this job and wanted to come back to this university. And it's because I remember what it was like to feel like a member of the Penn State community. And I think you can get that by being here, or you can get it from taking classes from afar. But I mean, I think that's one of the key things. So you get great professors and researchers no matter where you are, but you don't always get a great culture and a great community. And so I think that's one thing that Penn State offers.